told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine we had one more life, one more shot at sunrise. Erase everything, start with new eyes. Breakfast ain't tragic goodbyes. What if that's nightstand? Not to reminisce, just a reminder to never go back to a life we shared. Anytime I'm feeling the urge to look at a picture, oh, I get so confused. 'Cause I swear I have no hope for you.
One, two, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah, come on. Hey.
It's May 25th, 2023, and you're listening to episode 336 of the PHP Ugly Podcast, a weekly podcast where me and some friends get together and talk about coding, development, whatever happens to come to mind. This week is probably going to be more about a conference. I'm not sure. We have a conference wrap up, people. It was a lot of work, and we have a lot to say about it. But before we do that, we have some people to thank. We have a couple of sponsors, honeybadger.io and JetBrains PhpStorm. Thank you very much. And as always, we'd like to thank our supporters on Patreon who have been there with us the longest. And we're going to circle back around and talk about all of them a little later in the show. If this is your first time joining, we got a lot of interest in the conference last week that I think we might have some new listeners. So if you're watching this live, this is a very interesting space to be in. You can jump into the PHP Ugly Discord and participate in the show as it's going on. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you're going to be missing out on a few things. Again, if this is your first time listening, we cut the audio podcast from some of the stuff in the live show. So the live show, you get to hear the whole show, but we have a lot of banter that goes on after the show. So when we play Harry Mack at the end of the show, there's a lot more that happens usually. Sometimes it's not. It's you never know what's going to go on. But for now, I would like to introduce myself. I am one of your humble hosts, Eric Van Johnson. And with me tonight is John Congdon.
Humble, he says. Humbly. Oh my goodness.
And we've got to talk about the elephant that's not in the room with us tonight, Tom Rideout.
Yeah.
So if you listen to the show for any amount of time, you know traveling is not one of Tom's favorite things to do. And he did a lot of it over the last few weeks. We're very grateful that he took the time to come to Tech. We knew it was a lot for him to do that. We knew that a lot of things were piling up at work, and he did it. So we do appreciate that. But Tom needs a break. Tom's got a lot going on with work. Tom did a lot of traveling. He wants to spend some time with his family again. He wants to reset. So he's going to be back. We did not kill him despite my closing speech at the conference,
Which we will get to.
We'll get to here in a little bit. He's just taking some time and probably be back soon. So we'll keep everybody posted. But he's fine. He's healthy. He's not sick. He's just taking a break for a little while, and we very
Support
much
him.
encourage that. Yeah, support that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, John. So
Oh.
PHP Tech is in the rear view mirror. We paid them the final bills today, right?
No, not paid yet. We received.
Okay.
We got the bill from the hotel, and oh my gosh, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
We so I spent a good part of the day reviewing it and making sure everything lined up. Found that we, paid for a couple extra hotel nights that we didn't have to, but we are happy to have helped a couple people
You're
out.
welcome, Eric Hansen, whoever that might be.
Yeah, just a random name on our. We don't know who you are. But yeah, I mean, what a week! What a whirlwind of a week it was. Highs,
It was amazing.
So many fantastic memories from it. But I got to admit, I've talked to a couple people since, and I realized that I was in that organizer haze for a good part of it, where I just felt like I had to run from room to room to room to talk to whether it's the hotel staff or just take care of things, where I would say hi to people. Like I tried to be super friendly and hi, but it was in passing. So I didn't really stop and talk in depth with anybody. And I felt terrible about that. Nuno, not Nuno Maduro, the other Nuno, since we have two of them there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you the number of times where we crossed paths and I didn't stop to talk to him. And finally, that last day, I saw him sitting out working and saw his luggage next to him. I'm like, I'm going to stop. I'm going to go say hi and talk for 5 minutes. And I did. And I'm so happy I did, just kind of talking to him.
I can't be sure, but outside of my little friendship in San Diego of the SD-PHP user group, Nuno might have been one of the first friends I made outside that group. I remember he came up to me at a conference and just started talking to me and just was, I'm sure he's such a nice guy. Both Nunos
Yeah.
were there. Both Nunos are great people. But yeah, I forget his last name. But yeah, he's one of the nicest. Well, I was floored when I saw him. I was floored when I saw a lot of people there. There were a lot of people that showed up that I was like, whoa, I can't believe they just came to the conference. Man,
Soto.
Honestly,
Nuno Soto.
Soto,
Soto.
there you go.
Yeah.
I should know that. Juan Soto,
Yeah.
one of my favorite baseball players. Honestly, though, had we not been running that conference, and again, maybe this was just like a high I was riding as the conference organizer, but I feel like had we not been running that conference and I was attending that conference, I would have felt like PHP Tech just picked up where it had left off in 2019. Like everything just seemed to flow so well. It's a great conference. Got to meet a lot of people. Oh, I got to introduce a couple of friends. Ines Bucky in our Discord. By the way, Discord, you are a third host this week, so make sure you chatter a lot. We're going to, if you have questions about how things went at the conference or anything like that, feel free to ask. We're looking just to kind of interact with everybody today. But
Sevi, hang on. Sevi says, so sad to miss it this year. Won't miss it next year for sure. We are pleased to say we will be hosting again next year. We will do it again.
Spoiler.
I'm on a high from it, man. I'm happy about it.
The big question is where. That's still being determined. We sent out a survey and we're getting a lot of positive feedback, huh?
I don't think it's being determined.
Well, I'm half of this company and I say it is, so it's being determined. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, people have brought up some very good points about travel and everything else, where as much as I would like it to be in San Diego, selfishly, I don't know that it will be as big of a success.
I don't need it to be. We've already got our success, man. It's all downhill from here. I'm fine with that. If I'm going downhill, I'm doing it on the beach.
So Tech, as soon as it moved away from Chicago, went on a downhill trend for a long time.
Okay, so we're getting off track. We met a lot of people, including people in our Discord at Tech this year. I got to hang out with A Woods, DB Bucky, who I've been hanging out with for the user groups now. So I kind of
NS KB NS Bucky.
Oh, is it NS? I now I know his real name, and I have to try to remember what his Discord handle is. Damn it! But I got to introduce him and another friend of mine, Jeffrey, to JMac. They were both real big fans of JMac. I didn't introduce Jeffrey. I told him I would, but Jeffrey built up the courage to go talk to JMac after one of his talks. And of course, if you don't know who JMac is, he's the mastermind behind Laravel Shift. One of the nicest people in the community, very approachable, very engaging, just a good guy. I guess Jeffrey had gone to one of JMac's talks and felt comfortable enough to introduce himself and did. And then at our last user group meetup, I had mentioned I could introduce Bucky to JMac, and he seemed excited about that, and I got to do that. And not only that, this has happened to me a couple times, but I'm sure it doesn't happen to me nearly as much as it happens to this other person. But I introduced Bucky to JMac, and JMac is hanging out with the little Laravel crew. We had quite the Laravel crew there. Not only presenters, Nuno was presenting, JMac was presenting. That might have been it, but there was like a group of like 6 or 7 of them that were, very much in the Laravel community, including this other person who started talking when I had introduced Bucky to JMac. So we're having a conversation, and this other person kind of starts to interject his thoughts in it. And I asked JMac, I'm like, hey, do you know who that is? He's like, no, I don't. I'm like, that's Jacob Bennett from Laravel News Podcast. And Bucky, I didn't know I knew that voice. I knew that voice. Like, yeah. So that was cool. But yeah, fun things, man. Fun things.
Sounds like you just paraded JMac around the conference.
Oh yeah. The fact that I can introduce people to him, I wear as a badge of honor. It's like, anybody want to meet J-Mac? Anybody? I can introduce you.
Meanwhile, anyone could just walk up to him because he's so approachable and easy-going, easy to
You don't
talk
have to let
to.
everybody know that. Let me have this moment. Damn it. So yeah, I don't know. It's so yeah, as far as next year goes, despite what John might say, we have conversations that need to take place. It's even if it does return to Chicago, there's no guarantee it's going to the same venue.
Right.
There's some feedback on that. It doesn't necessarily, I'm not saying it necessarily is going to come to the West Coast, although we had a lot of support for San Diego. So I'm waiting for all the numbers to come in before I say it definitely won't. But there are other kind of locations that I think we can talk about and try to get some pricing on. Pricing is the big deal with conferences. It's just the hotel. That's all it is. It's just a money pit at that point. It's just everything we do. It costs us money, and there's other considerations we have to take into account, like our wonderful AV trailer is in a secret location outside of Chicago. So if we don't return to the Chicago area, actually, there are a couple places within striking distance from where the trailer is, but if we don't return to that general location, we have to kind of plan how we're going to get our AV equipment to wherever the next conference ends up. But the only thing you need to worry about today is that there's going to be a conference next year. And I am willing to say, John and I'm calling us Grizzly veterans now at the conference game because this is our second conference we put on, and we're just getting better at it. Right, John?
It's not working. Yep.
What's not working?
I was trying to change my camera up a little bit. Oh, it's because I'm on this camera. That's right. That's why it's not working.
Still haven't got your camera set up.
It's set up. I just couldn't connect to it because we, I guess, swapped cameras in Chicago, and I just set it up tonight. So I don't have the Bluetooth connected up. So I wasn't able to change my settings easily.
Yeah.
But that's for another night, another time.
Mm-hmm. Another thing we got a lot of feedback on, and I'm fine coming clean with it today. I was kind of blown away with how much interest there was in us bringing World back. I think there was even some expectation from a few people that World would happen this year.
I know.
Which
so if you didn't listen to the closing keynote and our kind of closing ceremonies type of thing, Eric teased it. It was more of a joke because we haven't had any discussions really around bringing World back. It's something we would like to do, but one, we had to get tech under our belt because that's the conference. So he kind of teased it in the closing, and there was a reaction to it, which was great. People want that back.
Yeah, so it's definitely not happening this year. There's a very good chance it's not going to happen next year. We're just we want to find our stride with tech. I'm not completely saying it won't happen next year. If we get like a crazy amount of sponsors step up and say, oh yeah, and we'll sponsor World if you have it, then we'll definitely have that discussion. But tech took a lot out of John and I. And I don't think it's going to be a lot easier next year. It'll be easier. There was so much unknown this year with the equipment, the setup, how everything needs to be laid out, what was working, was anything not working. And we got to identify a lot of that this year. So next year, we're kind of going into it with, we know how we set things up. We know what's working. We know how it works. Hopefully we can remember how to set everything back up, which, by the way, completely off track here, but on topic, there are two people that made tech happen this year. we had the entire PHP Architect team there, and we appreciate everything they did. They did a lot of work, including my wife. My wife attended the conference and worked it as well. But there are two people in particular. One is a seasoned tech person, which is Tim Lytle,
Lytle.
and Jeremy Francis, Greg Noonan, Jack. What's Jack's last name?
Jack Peterson.
Jack Peterson and Tim Lytle did a ton of work. Tim especially. Really, I mean, he
jumped right in there and started setting things up. I mean, we started bringing in all the boxes and started like putting things together. But when it came to the AV equipment, Tim was just like, I got it. Click, click, clack, click, plugging things in. And it's like, whoa, like I kind of need to know how this all works too.
Even like the big screens. It's like I was so stressed about how we put up the big screens, and then I walk into the ballroom and you two, or maybe it was three at that time, already had it up. I'm like, how the hell did you get that thing up?
Yeah, that was Tim and I worked on that and got it up.
Yeah. So Tim really went above and beyond. We owe that guy something. I don't know what, but Tim and Jack brought some high-end cameras. If you presented in the ballroom or if you watched in the ballroom, and that's another thing we can talk about, where the virtual pass is. But if you watch the ballroom, you saw a lot of nice switching and between cameras. That's all. Well, that was mostly Jack's, at very least, setups. I think was that Jack's first tech, John?
I don't know that it was his first tech. It was his first one working it for sure. It may have been his first tech.
And John works with both of these guys on the contract that he works on. So, yeah, they did a lot. And then again, our team, our PHP Architect team, much like John and I, we don't do this for a living. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We're developers. It's
right.
What? And our team's the same way, but they stepped up. They flew in from other countries. We had a Canadian there, had a couple of West Coasters there. We had one guy up in the northeast part of the country, and we all came together.
And they did a great job. I mean, they helped. They jumped right into setup. What can I do? And they did it. It was a great feeling to have the team around us helping us out. I wanted to go back to when we were talking about tech and world, and you said tech took a lot out of us, and you focused on the setup, which during the conference, yes, but the people that put the conferences on prior, who put on PHP Tech and PHP World, and at times PHP Cruise, they broke off from PHP Architect and created an events company, and that's what they did for a living. That's all they did. So that, not that it made it easier, because it's still a lot of work, but we spent so much time taking time away from our clients to, follow up on emails, handle speakers, handle just everything leading up to the conference, generating all of the images, the signage, the swag bag. There's just so much that goes into it that you forget. And so it's not like an easy thing to say, yes, we will definitely put on World again, because it took us months of work leading up to, and I just can't imagine doing 2 in a year.
Oh, I think we got to do this.
I'm not saying we don't, but something's got to give somewhere, because it's it's like having multiple full-time jobs. It's not easy.
I remember when I came to you and said, "Hey, we should buy PHP Architect." You're like, "What?" I'm like, "No, we definitely should buy PHP Architect." And you're like, "Never happen. It'll never happen." I'm like, "I'll make it happen." Took me a few years, a lot of private investigators, some deep dives into Oscar's finances, but I made it happen. Okay, some of that might have been an exaggeration,
just a little bit.
I can't. Go ahead.
Good. Nope.
No, I was going to say, I can't tell you guys can't appreciate how many crazy ideas I've come to with John. John and I are
PHP Ugly being one of them.
50 John and I are 50-50 owners of PHP Architect, and we are 50-50 owners of Diego Devs. The reason why we're 50-50 owners is because I'm pretty much an idiot, and I'll try any crazy idea, and I have a lot of them. And John is kind of like my balance. So he's like the yin, he's yin and yang sort of situation. That was actually one of our jokes back in the day. You're a bad yang.
You're a bad yang.
You're
You still are
yang.
a bad yang.
But I come to him with so many ideas, and John's like my filter. Every now and then we take risk. We've done that a couple times, and most times they don't work. Argus was an example of that, where I thought I saw a need for something. We really invested a lot of time and money into creating it, and once we had it created, it was like, there are other services out there.
Mhm.
I mean, I still think Argus did a really good job, but it was overkill for what it was doing. Other services are out there. As a matter of fact, let's talk about some of those other services. We are at a good point here.
I was going to transition to one of our sponsors from PHP Tech, who is also a sponsor of PHP Ugly, PhpStorm, and JetBrains. PhpStorm is a cutting-edge IDE tailored for PHP and web developers. If you haven't used it before, or it's been a while since you've last tried it, now's the perfect time to check it out again, because it has received significant performance enhancements and an expanded feature set. Curious to see if it's the right fit for you? Head to jetbrains.com/phpstorm to learn more and try it out with the 30-day free trial. Code smarter, not harder. I got to tell you, I was going to say, they were at the conference. They had a booth set up. They had elephants that they were giving away if you played their little code golf thing.
That's where I was going with it. As far as I know, they didn't deserve that big of a spot, because we didn't get elephants, so I don't see why they get a full spot anymore. But whatever.
I'll talk to to human resources on that one. Yeah, so I ran over. I'm like, all right, I want to play code golf and see what and get an elephant. Get over there. Yeah, we're all out. I'm like, all right, I'll still sit down and play your code golf because it has golf in the term. What they were doing was sitting people down and having them go through a little, not a quiz. They had a code up on the right-hand side or left-hand side, forget which, and said, you just have to create that same snippet of code in as few keystrokes as possible. I'm like, all right, that seems pretty easy. If you move the mouse, it's an automatic 10 points. And then for every keystroke, it's like 1 point. And obviously it's golf, so you want to get in the lowest score possible. They showed some amazing little tips and tricks that I use PhpStorm all the time, and I just deal with some of the quirks. One of them is changing a function name, and then it will start a new function, even though you're just changing it. And there was a key combination. Now I forget what it is, because with a lot of those shortcuts, you have to use them repeatedly to kind of get them ingrained in your memory. But it was like, instead of just tabbing, it was Control Tab or something that just replaced it in line, which was really nice. And they just went through a handful of those. It was fun to see, and just reminded me that there is so much in PhpStorm that I still don't know.
Yeah, a couple things. Did you click a button or something to restream, John? I've never seen this before. It says, feel free to ask the panel questions, and then it posted the PHP Roundtable, PHP Ugly, PHP.
What, Kenrick? NS Bucky?
What? You won one?
You got a JetBrains elephant?
Damn it! Anyways, I don't know why all that stuff posted if you're in our Discord. I don't know why all that stuff posted. I'm not sure where that came from. Oh, it's my Mastodon. So it has 3 Mastodon handles. I'm not sure how that happened, but yeah, that was weird.
Interesting.
Crusty, I missed you, Crusty. You asked, do we do everything? All our audio video equipment? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
They
So
would
when
not
we
let they would not let you use the Vim plugin buttery. That was actually
No.
one of the things we learned. You could
Yeah,
not use the plugin.
I sat down and she was telling me, you need to do this, and the number of times I hit my J's and K's, and I'm like, oh, I don't have my Vim plugin.
Yeah, that would be me.
It was that specifically was like a no-go for me. Like, that's no good. I mean, you weren't typing a ton, you weren't moving around that much. Really, it was implementing or creating like 4 functions, but you can do it all with code generation because it was implementing another class. So as soon as you do that and you implemented those, you were done. So there wasn't a whole lot of Vim plugin needed, but there were a handful of times where I was trying to move, and then once I had finished, she's like, "Yeah, but if you did this, you'd be done already." I'm like, you're right. I didn't get a JetBrains one, but I did get a new one for my herd.
What?
My Vonage one?
Where's my? What's up, man? You didn't hook a brother up?
Nope.
This is why we're not real friends.
You got to know people at Vonage. If only you knew somebody at Vonage that could have hooked you up.
You hurt me. Yeah. So, Sarah. I hung out with Sarah Goldman. It was fun.
I got cursed out by Sarah Goldman.
Sarah and Derek. What's his last name? Rathan, the XDebug guy.
Yeah, Reathens.
Derek and Sarah taught me a new game. I'm not a game guy. I don't like board games. I just don't have the attention span to focus on a board game, card game, or anything. And I have compulsion issues as well. So it's very difficult for me to play board games.
I was shocked to see you down there that first night.
I told you I'd be down there.
Well, you had plans. You were going out with the wife, and I thought you were like literally leaving right away. And I came in, I saw you playing. I was like, what? No way. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, we did have plans. It was good. I enjoyed it. What? There he goes again. What are you doing?
What's going on? My hands are on the desk. Yes, sir. So during the first game night, I wanted to do this quiz game. We spent a lot of time coming up with questions, and the technical issues I had getting into it was annoying. Like the first 15-20 minutes, we just couldn't get the things working. Turns out it didn't work very well in mobile Safari for some reason, which the whole thing is supposed to be mobile, like a mobile game type of thing. And then as I'm asking questions, Sarah's over in the side. Fuck you. And I'm like, Sarah, bring it down a notch.
You can't tame that beast. You gotta let the elephant run.
She's got a new elephant video out there. Have you seen it?
Is it the one? Does it have a special guest?
Yep.
I have not. Post a link.
I got it. Sarah, can you post that link? Because I don't have it. Yeah, it was. There's one section in it where I'm just like, I feel like I'm just in the background, so I'm just watching, but my facial expression just looks like, what?
Oh, really? I gotta see it now. Shit,
it looks so dumb, but it's funny.
Yeah, the wife participated in a lot. She was part of game night. I gotta tell you, game night as well. Beck and I had made plans. We have friends in the Chicago area. We made plans to go have dinner with them. And it turned out the only night that was like really working was that first night of the conference, which was Tuesday night, because we had the speaker dinner and set up the night before, and I didn't want to commit then. And so we ended up going Tuesday night, and it was nice. I hadn't been with this person before. We went to a fun little Indian restaurant, had a really great time. I'm there. It's hours. Like, I spent an hour at game night. We bailed. We spent hours with this friend, like 2, maybe 3 hours. I get back to game night, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. And Beck, my current wife, turns to me and says, do you think they're still going? I'm like, they'll be in the lobby, and they'll be kind of they might be playing games in there and talking, but that's all that's going on. And sure enough, we walk in, and there's a bunch of people in the lobby playing games and talking. And then John says, "Oh, I forgot how it came up," but he goes, "Oh yeah, there's karaoke in the ballroom." I'm like, wait, what? Wait, we have karaoke? I don't remember seeing that on the schedule. And so I walk into the ballroom, and there's, I think, Ben Ramsey and I forget who else. Just
A-Woods is great at karaoke.
Yeah. They were just going at it. Let me see if I can get this.
It was a little loud. That's why there were so many games being played out in the lobby, because once karaoke started, it was like I kept going over and pulling the levels down on the mixer. I'd walk away, and all of a sudden they're right back up, and it's like, oh my gosh, so loud.
All right, I want to share this video. I'm going to do a real-time watch of this video with you. You should hear
Nuna Madura's in replying to our video right now. You are a great presenter, by the way. Oh my gosh.
So much good feedback.
It was really good.
Yeah. All right, I haven't watched this video, so we're going to do a reaction in real time. Let me see, how's this work? There we go. All right, if I go full screen with this, here we go. That's better. All right, let's watch this. Tell me in Discord if you can't hear it. Let me know.
Oh, maybe next year. Stupid COVID. What the hell? I even got my shot already. Come on. What? There's a conference this year. I finally get to go. I better go get permission. Hey, guess what? Did you hear? There's going to be another PHP Tech this year. Can I go? Can I? Oh, of course you can go.
You're taking Sarah's views away by doing this.
PHP Tech so many years ago. No time for that right now. I got to go. Bye. There's the registration. Who's that back there? Oh, hi, Eric. Hi. Nice to see you.
That's not me.
Thank you. It's so
The camera puts on 5 pounds. I had like 6 cameras on me at the time.
Welcome. Yeah, it's the best time. It's the best time. Okay. I'm at the front line. All right, time to get registered. Hello. My name's Archie. I'm here for the conference. It's been so long.
Well, we're so glad that you're here.
Me too. Can I get my badge? Oh, it has my name on it. Oh, this is the best badge ever. Thank you. Oh, wait, no. Consent first. Yes. Thank you. I'm very excited for this conference. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Okay, have a good time.
Ooh, the sponsor hall. Let's check out what's down here. Ooh, info bill. Then check out them later on. Yeah. Oh, Osmi, what's going on over here? Hey, what can you tell me about Osmi?
Hi, we are a nonprofit focused on changing how we talk about mental health in the tech industry. We try to educate people and give them resources on where to get help and how to be productive and successful.
Bye, thank you.
I want to run my unit test, so I run a PHP unit.
I have a question. For the speaker, please.
You look like guarding
may I
him.
have a photograph with the celebrity, a little selfie?
Security.
No. I mean the real celebrity, Rar. I'm sorry, no offense. Nice to meet you, Rar. I've heard so many good things about you. I've been following your career for years.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me the story about RAR if you know it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the selfie very much. Thank you. Have a nice day.
That's Ben Ramsey, by the way, everyone. If you don't know what Ben Ramsey looks like, that's who you're trying to find.
Hey guys, how you enjoying the conference so far? Oh, Well, I think it's a very interesting conference, and I intend to come again next year. Wow, this is a really exciting way to collaborate and learn new things with other people, don't you think? Well, you sure bet it is. It's the best. Yeah!
This is karaoke. That was done in karaoke.
Yeah,
Someone
I
sang
hear
it.
that. I thought okay, I want to point something out here.
Hey,
right
guys.
there. You see this? A Star Trek elephant. Like, what the hell? Where the hell did this come from, and how do I get one? This is awesome. There were so many cool things. All right, what's the story with RAR?
So it's one of those things that I would like to do as well at some point. It's basically, he used to do a lot of traveling for conferences, and it was his kid's stuffed animal that he brought with him and took pictures and sent them back to his kid when they were younger.
It's so hard to hate that guy. He's such a nice guy.
And he hangs out, and we just, hang out in the lobby and talk to every night. I was up till between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I swore as an organizer I wasn't going to do that this year. I was going to go to bed because I had to be up early, and nope. Between 2 and 3, back and then back up back downstairs by 7:15, 7:30 every morning. It's still a blur. I don't know how I did it. Crazy.
Yeah. 4-hour game of Catan was fun. Catan, I was kind of hoping somebody would show me how to play that, but that did not happen.
So
there's a lot of people playing it.
I have it here. I brought it home. I've now played it with my soon-to-be 7 and 9-year-olds, and they are loving it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a game that takes a while, and there's a lot of like moving pieces and parts and strategy. So the setup takes forever. It's a good, 10, 20, 30 minutes just to set the board up. then you start playing, and nobody knows what's going on. So when you're playing with 6 brand new players, it's like 6 brand new players that have been drinking. It's like I do the same thing with my kids. They're like, well, what's this and what's that? And it's like, we will get to it. I will explain it. I don't want to give you all the rules right now because it's just too vast. When you get to that part of the game, I will explain what that does. And Omni does a fantastic job. He usually supplies beer at conferences, or he's a huge beer drinker. I've been using Untapped since 2013 on and off. Usually at conferences, it renews my interest in using Untapped, and then I forget about it because I drink usually the same, 3 to 5 different beers throughout the year. But Untapped is one of those things that you try a new beer, you rate it, and then you kind of share that with friends. Having used it for 10 years now, I have drank 270 unique beers according to Untapped. Omni is at like 5,300 unique beers. I was like, wow, I didn't even know that many existed. I mean, I did, but
figure out what's going on with this bot, whatever the hell this thing is. It drives me nuts. I think Buttery's right. I think it just fires every 10 minutes or 5 minutes or something. It's driving me bonkers right now.
But oh yeah, Restream bot entered Discord earlier today, like 5:30. Were you doing
that's
something
me.
back then?
No, that's me. That's the bot that catches titles and things like that. So that's just me.
Well, your bot is learning and it's going rogue.
Well, this is Restream though. It's something from Restream. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what the hell's going on right now. It's driving me nuts. I'll give everybody a little hack, and then I'm going to tease something to everybody as well. If you go to, so we touched on virtual passes. Virtual passes turned out really, really well. Unfortunately, John and I were cursed with every opening keynote of each day having a different problem. So every keynote didn't have some sort of issue. But Beth Tucker Long's keynote is on the landing page of phptech.tv. You don't need to create an account or anything to watch it. The keynotes are important enough, I think, to me and to John, that we've decided we're probably going to just put those on the YouTube channel for everybody to see as like a free kind of thing, right? You can still buy a virtual pass that will give you access to all the other talks that have been recorded. You don't have to worry about doing it right now. It's going to take us a week or two to get all these talks edited, but we are working on that. We did do a really good job, fortunately, of having backups to our backup. And multiple layers of recording, and there were at times we needed it. So we should be able to get everything together, and we'll have all the talk.
I got Tim's keynote. Audio is so fixed up. Like, I'm shocked at how well the audio turned out. I was able to pull it from the camera and sent it to Tim, and he put it through some magic something or others, and it's almost as good as the lapel mic.
Interesting. I might have to tap Tim. So I had recorded so we had an uncon on Thursday. What is up with the uncon? That blew up, man. Like, we had so many talks in the uncon. It was crazy. But the first talk was literally the only talk I was able to attend from beginning to end. And the reason I made it a point to do that is because I wanted to stream that one, which I did. But again, I couldn't find my connection for my mic, so it's just the mic from the iPad, which isn't great, and the recording from the iPad, which isn't great. But Grumpy Chris asked me for a copy of it. I got to get them a copy because they might want to use it. If Tim can clean up the audio, that'd be great. And I was actually going to release that as a free talk as well on YouTube, but I need to talk to Joe and Ed.
Yeah, I checked with Ed first on that one.
Yeah, I need to talk to Joe and Ed because it ended up being a very intense, emotional talk. So if you missed it, you might have just missed it. I don't feel comfortable releasing it without talking to them because I mean he just really had there was no holding back in this talk, and it was impactful.
I gave him a hug in the middle of it. Like,
yeah,
that's how emotional it got. Yeah. So going back to virtual passes, still available. You can still purchase. We're going to work hard to get all of the videos cleaned up, uploaded, working on opening and closing now. We would like to, kind of make it look somewhat professional. Even though Harry Mack says we're not professional.
Not professional. And spoiler alert, Harry Mack didn't show up. Bastard.
Tried.
Yeah. So, yeah, all fun things. I don't know if, John, did you tell me? Or did somebody else tell me about overhearing somebody talking about listening to PHP Ugly and not liking it because there's too much dead air?
No, I didn't hear that.
All right. It's one of the problems with tech or being an organizer of any conference is you're running so crazy from beginning to end. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't attend one full talk of anybody. I popped in, like I wanted to see Nuno's, I wanted to see JMax, I wanted to see a few others that I managed to pop in. But depending on what was going on, you didn't have a chance to do that. And the other issue is you have so many people talking to you, trying to keep track of who told you what can be challenging. But at some point, I got wind, and I don't think I overheard it myself. I got wind of somebody complaining about the PHP Ugly podcast and how there's too much dead air. And I'm like, what podcast are they listening to? I mean, maybe they picked it up like the after show or something when we're just sitting around and doing nothing. But my God, man, it's like we talk too much on this show. I mean, it was nuts, man.
That is true.
Good.
Do you want to step away from tech for a minute and talk about some other stuff?
Well, I wanted to talk about go back to phptech.tv because this is where one of the
Good
places I was
call.
leading with that. And all the issues we had with PHP Tech TV, we actually have our sponsor to thank for catching most of them. Discord helped us with a few, but we have Honey Badger installed, honeybadger.io installed on phptech.tv. So every time there was an alert, John and I were getting notifications of it. This is what Honey Badger does. If you're not familiar with honeybadger.io, it's a monitoring tool for your application. It's an uptime monitoring. It's a cron job monitoring. It does it all. And the thing that helped us was the log monitoring and catching exceptions in the application because we were coding live in production because that's how we roll at tech. And we were just breaking things more than we were fixing. But Honey Badger was letting us know that we were breaking stuff.
It's still broken. Go fix it.
So Honey Badger has been a sponsor of this show for a very, very long time. We use the product. We don't use the product because they're a sponsor. We used the product before they were a sponsor. And we're only growing how much we're using the product. I talked before tech that we implemented it on one of our bigger clients, and they're thrilled because they have now a steady stream of issues that get fed into their Slack. So they have visibility now when their application's acting up. And we have visibility now of things that aren't behaving well in the application that nobody's reporting as an error. But Honey Badger's catching it. And it tracks deployments. So if there are new errors since a deployment, Honey Badger will let you know. Say, hey, since last deployment, these new errors have occurred. Very, very good tool to have and not that expensive. They do have a free tier. So you can get started today for free. It's a very generous free tier. You need to check it out. But we've been paying for it for a while, and we will continue to pay for it even when they stop sponsoring us.
Yeah,
that's not true. We're going to drop you like a rock. No, that's not true either.
You can never tell. Yeah, during the streaming part, the issues we were having on there, having the logs, having Honey Badger say, hey, the issues here made it a lot faster because while I know enough about the way it was architected, I'm not a Laravel person by any stretch of the imagination. Not that I avoid it, I just don't use it daily. So trying to remember where I needed to go to find things. And again, because it was on production, I didn't have my normal tool set at hand. I didn't have PhpStorm's gateway allowing me to get access to the remote server, which had we thought about it ahead of time, like, hey, we may have to code in production, would have been nice. Didn't have it set up. So SSH to the server, BIM, got to figure out now how to get all those changes back into the code base. Because we
did already.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Good, because we have other changes to make. But yeah, having that feedback going straight into Discord. Yeah.
Yep. Discord and Slack. I have it going to both for us.
So having Discord up and like, oh yeah, let's go fix that was a nice thing to do.
Yeah. Yep. It was very, very valuable. So thank you, Honey Badger, for everything you do. John, I was actually if you've listened to the show for any amount of time, you know I've always praised John for his debugging ability. The guy can jump into any code base and figure out where issues are and how to fix them. So I had developed phptech.tv, and I use, of course, Laravel, and of course I use Livewire, which were two very new components. John has some experience with Laravel. I don't think you had any experience with Livewire, did you?
Nope.
Yeah, and I got to give the guy credit, man. The guy was able to jump in there and figure. He fought me a little bit on how Livewire works. I was trying to explain it, and I was like, yeah, it's magic. Just don't worry about it. Just move on. It's magic. Don't worry about it.
But I want to know, where's the magic? How does it work? But we figured it out.
He figured it out, man. It was great. And I think as we talked during tech, we were deciding what to do with phptech.tv because it was something we just threw up and for the conference for streaming, and we weren't sure what we were doing. But I think it's going to stick around. It's probably going to be the permanent home of all future streaming of tech and world.
Butter asked a question. We both are coders. That's how we got started. That's where we came together. We had a third partner for the very first month of existence, but we realized they weren't into the business side of it, and we knew that, hey, we're not making any money right now, but we still have to pay taxes because we started a business and they didn't have money to put in. Long story short, Eric and I took over 50-50 partners, both coders, and we both care about the business to where we both have input. We both have ideas. Eric has a lot more ideas, but we work really well together. But I gotta say, Eric's not just the mascot. He built phptech.tv, and I was blown away. Like, it worked very well. I got in there and added just a couple of small tweaks where I was like, hey, there's going to be times where I want to stream like the keynote for free. So I want that to go to the lobby, is what Eric called it.
So I like how you said that was a small tweak. It was like, wait, that's a lot of code. And so yeah, not only did it have Livewire, but it had Filament, which is, if you know me, I'm a huge Filament fan for the admin backend. And John got in there and coded Filament code, which again, he's never touched before. It was for this lobby live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Blown away by that.
Ramsey, the videos are not available yet. We are currently going through the editing process and are hoping to get them up there as quick as we can, but soon. Where is it going with that? So yeah, I want to go the streaming issues that we had. Oh my God, are ridiculous. So ridiculous. The very first day, the first keynote, as much as we praised Jack, made a small mistake on the ATEM control board that we use. He hit the on-air button to stream, hit the record button to record to disk, but never turned on the mic. So the mic never went out on the stream and thus wasn't recorded. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It didn't go out on the stream. We bought these expensive ATEM ISOs because it records all of the inputs separately. It's supposed to record every mic, whether it streams or not, every HDMI input, whether it streams or not. I'm like, so we'll be fine. We'll have it later. 8 hours later, after that day of the conference, our team takes all the hard drives, and I'm like, well, crap, we don't have enough hard drives to get through this. Like, it just all of a sudden hit us. So our team runs out to whether Target or Walmart or whatever, and they bought two huge, I don't know if they're 12 terabyte or some huge drives, so we could take all 6 of our 2 terabyte drives and combine them onto the big drive, wipe the small ones, and use them again. They come to me and they say, there's no audio. There's very little data on these drives. I'm like, what?
Yeah, when they came back and said how big the files were, I flipped my lid. I'm like, that's impossible. It can't be that small.
Right. So it turns out from the ATEM, all it was recording was an MP4 file of the stream that went out, which didn't have audio. So we buy these expensive things, and it turns out you have to check a box in the settings to say, I want to record all of the inputs. But that's what the thing ISO is meant to do, is to record all the inputs. So why is that not enabled by default?
Turn that off if you don't want it.
Yeah, allow me to turn it off. Don't make me turn it on. So that was sad.
That was something, man.
So,
That was
so we
something.
had it fixed up for the second day. Second day rolls around, and was that our? What was the issue that day? The third day was internet issues. The second day, there was something else that happened in there where we
Yeah.
didn't get the stream was just bad for
Yeah. Oh, was
that one.
that the one where we couldn't get the switch between the monitor and the speaker?
I don't know. Don't remember.
There was one where we couldn't switch between the laptop and the speaker. It was I forget what day that was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is it. So the equipment didn't like certain Macs. If you had a Mac M1 specifically, I think with a dongle, it wasn't coming into the A10 properly. So we ended up setting up a fourth camera pointed directly at the screen. So on those live streams or on those streams later, when you see that, that's the issue. Then the third day rolls around, and all of a sudden the internet signal has gone to trash. We're watching like these things when they stream. We have a little monitor, and it'll tell you like it's streaming fine, and all of a sudden the cache was full. Like the stream wasn't going out. We're like, what is going on? Get to the next talk, and then all of a sudden all the rooms are having this issue, and I'm freaking out, but there's nothing I can do. We find out later they were doing work on the 5G antenna on top of the
Oh, that's right.
on top of the hotel. So they must have turned it off while they were doing some work. All of a sudden they flip it on and ran smooth after that.
So we had bought our own 5G internet devices so that we didn't have to do it through the hotel Wi-Fi. And it was working flawlessly. I was worried because they were in the conference rooms, and I was worried that they wouldn't get enough signal. Enough of a signal. They were working flawlessly. It was such a brilliant idea until that last day. What are the chances they're going to take down the 5G antenna off of the building we're in that day? It was crazy, man. When they told us, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? That didn't just happen. But yeah, they put it back together and everything was working.
All right, I'm gonna move from tech now. We've talked tech for an hour. Not that I want to, but
see what the problem is there. But let's. I'm gonna go ahead and throw up our Patreon slide here. I don't know if that's where you're going, but I do want to kind of
go for it.
Thank you, Ronnie MN. We do appreciate you.
Yes.
So yeah, this is the current wife and I doing one of those river cruises in Chicago, which blew me away. So you cruise through all these channels in Chicago downtown, and they talk to you about the architecture and history of all the buildings.
That's a garage right there.
It's their condos in a garage, and it has it's basically as they described it, a city within a city. So they have a mall, schools, parks, everything inside that building. It's crazy.
Thank you, everyone.
I would say for sure if you end up in Chicago next year, John, and you happen to bring the family, or even if you don't bring the family, you need to do this.
Oh, we did. My wife and I did it when we were in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Well, then screw you. You didn't give me that advice, so whatever. Way to go. All right.
That's the kind of friend I am.
So yeah, thank you all of our supporters on Patreon. You mean so much. It was so much fun meeting some of you, and even if you weren't a Patreon supporter, but you came up and talked about how you enjoy listening to the show, it means a lot. So we do appreciate that.
Although I did feel like I had to make an announcement one morning because we had a room called the PHP Ugly Hall. I'm like,
we did, didn't we?
It's like, for those that don't know what PHP Ugly is, you might want to know. You talked earlier about how decent of a debugger I am. I can debug code. I can jump into legacy projects and find my way around pretty easily. I had a hell of a week with my kids' elementary school. There's a wonderful woman there that runs the running club. There's a 1/4 mile track at the school. Kids can run around and they get little tokens for their accomplishments. When she started years ago, they would hand out popsicle sticks to the kids as they made their laps. And then afterwards, they'd have to bring them back and they would write down their name and count them out. Archaic system. So the next year she did it, she talked to another dad there who was a developer and says, "Oh, let me automate this for you." Created little barcodes or QR codes that the kids get when they come down. And as they run, volunteers will scan the QR code as the kid runs and does their laps. Works pretty well. That's where I learned scan to sheets, which basically you scan the QR code, it makes an entry in a Google Sheet. Simple, done. Like there's less development there than you would think. Now that she is leaving next year and his kid graduates next year, they're like, we need to bring new people in to kind of run this thing for the next few years until they pass it on. So my wife got roped into running it or being a co-organizer of it. And me being more technical, I was supposed to come in and help this guy maintain things because there's always technical issues for whatever reason. Yeah. He doesn't want anybody in this code. He doesn't want anybody helping him. He's made it very clear that when I asked for access, he's like, "What?" And so he goes to the organizer, "What access does he need?" And she's like, "Well, he's going to be your replacement in a year." Like he wants to help you. So then he comes back to me. "Do you have access? Do you have knowledge of big data and this and that?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, I work with pretty big data sets. I don't know if it's quote unquote big data, but we're talking running club, counting the number of laps
In an elementary school running club, no less.
At an elementary school, a few hundred kids running a few laps. Like we're not talking huge data."
That's what I asked John. I'm like, what the hell is this guy recording? Jesus, like, how do you even make that big data?
But there's always these little things that he needs to be brought in for to quote unquote fix. And I'm like, let me help. Constantly asking, how can I help? Earlier this week, there was an issue. And I guess somebody changed the settings on one of the apps. So it wasn't recording geolocation data, which meant the data was shifted or off in the Google Sheet. And he made a huge stink of it. I'm like, well, let me get in and help you clean it up. No, with all due respect, the system's too complicated, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, I understand, but you seem very busy. You said you couldn't help tonight, and all of a sudden you're spending all this time. I said, in my day-to-day job, I am very good at debugging and reverse engineering code, so I can figure it out. Just give me access. Nah, I'm almost done with it. He spent 6 hours cleaning up 300 records. It's only 300 records. And in my mind, all I see is a Google Sheet. Highlight the ones, sort it, shift them over. Like, how hard can this be? But because he won't give me access, I don't know.
All right. So, John, I know you tried to explain to him what you did for a living, but did you let him know you're a podcaster?
That's where I screwed up.
There you go. That's where you missed. Yeah, you messed up right there. You need to let them know you're a podcaster.
Yeah, next time.
So you get all the good things in life.
Yeah. I'm talking about just redoing it all, like throwing away everything he did for the past 2 years.
This guy's doing anything big data. It needs a little refactoring. Just you let me know if you're ready for a whole live wire filament back in. I'll hook you up, brother.
I may. I was thinking I was going to try and do it all directly in Google Sheets, because I found a Google Sheet for managing my kids' baseball team, which is phenomenal. The amount of stuff you can do if you take the time and have the patience to organize things. I'm sure almost everything that they are doing in this running club could be done directly in Google Sheets. And then once it's set up, I'm out of the picture, right? You don't need you coming to me constantly saying, hey, this is broken. Like, he doesn't want to give access to things because he wants that that power. Like he's I don't know if scared of being replaced or what. I've just never been that way in my career. I've always
Mm.
given and helped, and like my very first job out of college, or actually still in college, I was doing database work, and the accounting department needed a report, and I'm like, well, here's how you create the report. They're like, what? You're gonna show us how to? I'm like, yeah. The person before me would refuse to show them how to do anything, and it took forever to get things done. And I'm like, I don't need job security. Like,
Right.
if I show you
That's
how to do something, the chances are you're gonna think I know way more.
yeah. When I first started working in IT, and again, that was a career pivot for me. I very pretty late in life, um, which one day we'll talk about because I owe a lot of credit to my current wife for letting me make that change. But I was blown away because where I was coming from, the sharing of information was vital to getting the job done and done correctly. And coming into IT and realizing how many people would hoard their knowledge as job security. And I talked to my friend about it, the person who got me the job. I'm like, what is the deal with this? I was like, yeah, they know it. And if nobody else knows it, then they won't get fired. And I'm like, man, if you're depending on your knowledge of something, of being the sole maintainer of knowledge, you're looking at job security very wrong. And I think that was because I walked into this job, which was a very corporate job. But I walked into this job with a very open source mindset because that's kind of how I learned to code and where I came from. So to walk into an area where it's very no, I can't show you how to do it. It was a Microsoft environment. This is back in the NT4 days, or maybe 2000 was out by then. I don't remember, but it was very much like, no, I can't show you how to do this. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. It's like, no, I want to know how to do this. And yeah, it's crazy.
Job security.
Job security. wrong way to have job security, I tell you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
whatever.
So
All right.
anyway, one hell of a week just because of that.
If anybody happened to notice Ben Ramsey's comment about the PHP ugly meat locker, that was not like a sexual reference or anything. The PHP ugly, whatever we called it,
Hall.
hall,
PHP ugly hall.
PHP ugly hall was that last day was bitter freaking cold. It was so cold, and I felt bad because we were fighting room temperatures the entire conference. And on the last day, I get in touch with our contact at the hotel. I'm like, hey, let's get a jump on the temperature in these rooms and let's just start turning it down. Well, they turned it like all the way down, and there was two rooms that were divided by one of those fake walls that
An air wall. Yeah.
can become like a whole room. So it was the PHP Ugly Hall and the Laravel Lounge, and clearly they had
Studio.
Laravel Studio. Clearly, they had no vents in Laravel Studio because you walked in and you were almost breathing smoke when you walked into PHP Ugly Hall, and then you walk into Laravel Studio, and you're like, people are like taking clothes off and saying, "Whoa, careful! Put those shirts on."
COC.
Yeah, it was nuts. I don't know how they work like that. Like, I don't know if they forgot to turn something on in the other room or something, because I can't imagine it's always like that, but it could be. I don't know. But yeah, you fit like 50 people in a room, and dude, I couldn't believe how many people were there and going to all the talks. And like every time I walked into a room, with the exception of the ballroom, because obviously the ballroom is massive. When I walked into Laravel, whatever we called it, in PHP Ugly Hall, Laravel Studio and PHP Ugly Hall, man, there was like it was almost always people standing in the back because there were just so many people in these rooms. It was crazy. I'm so happy to see it. Makes you feel good.
Yeah, we learned a lot. We have a entire list of things to work on next time. We tried a little too late to get people to download the quote unquote app that Sessionize provides. But if people would go in there and kind of star the talks they're interested in, they're not committed to going to them. But if I would have seen, 50, 60 people want to see this talk, but the
Oh,
top people in
right.
the ballroom, they only 20 or 30 were interested in that, we could have made last minute changes.
hmm
But not enough people starred for us to even notice that.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
So
you're really kind of flying blind when you accept talks, and you kind of get an idea of if the topic is like a topic that fosters a lot of interest, and then you just try to put them in the right rooms, but it can be such a crapshoot sometimes. So that app, we need to push that app a lot harder next year, because that will help dictate what talk goes into which room. That was good, and we tried some other things this conference. What do you think of the 30-minute sessions, John?
we got great feedback on that. The fact that it was the 30 minutes just before lunch, where
Mm-hmm.
you've gone to the keynote and a couple of bigger talks. Now it's just a 30-minute, somewhat easier talk, and then go to lunch. Some people seem to like my
All right, we'll
the
get to it
thing.
then.
Hour and a half, having an hour and a half for lunch. I don't know if that was too long, but it seemed like you got closer to that 2 o'clock time frame, because it was like 12:30 to 2 was the lunch break, and it just seemed like, all right, maybe this is a little too long.
Really, I didn't think that at all. Yeah, I didn't see that at all. But maybe it was. I don't know. I, I felt like it was a nice break. I think John and I talked about it. Yeah, we did the first day. We did long sessions. The second half of the day, and yeah, we might go back to a tutorial day. We're going to look at the feedback, but yeah, there are reasons. There's a lot of different reasons, and I actually got some feedback that uh, the more tutorials would have been nice, but and I don't want to do it every day of the conference. So we may just get back to a day of tutorials. We don't know. We're like I said, there's a lot of things where we're honestly taking everybody's feedback and kind of going through it and figuring out what worked and what didn't work. And
We should
tweaking
put that
things.
question in the exit survey.
Oh, I thought you had.
I don't think so.
Oh,
The
that's interesting
we
because I
focus
got
so
feedback on it.
yeah, we focus so much on location. We should have done a little bit more lunch session lengths, the tutorials being part of the whole conference versus buying a tutorial ticket and a conference ticket.
Hmm. Range of session links was great. Length of lunch was nice for hallway track. See, that's how I feel, Sarah. I agree with you. It really gave people some time to kind of interact with each other. I enjoyed it. So Ben called me out. It was funny because I was like gaslighting people at the conference, but I had cut my hair while I was at the conference. Anyone's had the best. We're sitting there talking, and somebody's asking me why he cut my hair, and like hair just doesn't mean that much to me. I was growing it out because I just hadn't done it, and it had gotten really long. And I don't know how to manage hair. I don't do hair. I'm typically a bald guy. If I'm not bald, I have very short hair. So I just didn't know, whatever. But I came to the conference with long hair. A lot of people saw me with long hair. And then the first night or the second night, I forget what night it was, the current wife and I, the
The
current wife's like,
second night,
hey,
yeah.
you want me to cut your hair? And I'm like, here? And they were like, yeah, I brought my scissors, my shears. I'm like, yeah, if you brought them, you're anticipating cutting my hair, weren't you? So cut my hair, but we're sitting there talking, and A was just looks at me and goes, yeah, I see how it is. You grow this long hair, you come to the conference, you see my long hair, and all of a sudden you realize what you look like and you cut it off. A-Woods sat there, came into the registration room, and I do want to point this out for a moment. I know we're running long, and I'm fine if you guys want to hang out. This is a good talk. I'm getting a lot off my chest, but A-Woods, several other people will just come into the registration room and just talk for a while. And I felt bad because depending on what was going on, I had time to interact with them or I didn't. But in general, I so appreciated it because it was almost the only time I had to talk to people. And I know there are times where I might not have been paying attention because I had other things going on, but we were so busy. We were so ridiculously busy. Not only do we not have time to go to talks, but just talking to friends, like people we haven't seen in years, finding 5-10 minutes to talk to him. Oscar was there. The guy we purchased PHP Architect was there, and barely had a moment to talk to him and say thanks and how much we appreciate it. And Eli was there, the guy who helped us with the we bought all the audio video equipment from. And I don't think I said 3 words to the guy, and I haven't seen him since 2019. There were so many people like that, so I do appreciate it. If it seemed like I didn't appreciate you being in the registration room, that's not the case. Just a lot was going on. It was hard for me to focus. And A-Woods, my wife is great. I gotta tell you, she's actually pretty fantastic. I've known this all along. But A-Woods had come into the registration room a couple of days. And I think this was on the second day. And hung out for a while. And we're talking Vim and Tmux, and I still owe you those plugins, A-Woods, I know. But we're talking for a while, and then he takes off, and my wife turns to me and says, "That must be really cool." And I'm like, "What? Like, talking geek stuff? Yeah, I get it. It's pretty cool." And no, meeting people from Discord. And I'm like, "What? What are you talking? What? Who did I meet from Discord?" And she's like, "That's A-Woods." I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, I go running after him. I'm like, because his real name isn't A-Woods. Surprise, surprise. And I went running after him. I'm like, "Man, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize who you were, and I just appreciate you being Discord and all this." It was funny. It was really funny. But yeah.
You see what he just wrote in Discord about WorstCon? So if you don't know, WorstCon started many, many techs ago, where a group of people got together and they went and got sausages, and it turned into this whole thing, and they wear a sausage hat. And so he said he was talking to somebody, and they asked where everyone was going, and he said, "Oh, that's WorstCon. They're leaving to go get sausages and hot dogs." And then the other attendee commented back, "Oh, so a sausage party just left to have a sausage party?"
You should see all the people. Our friend Jeffrey was there. I saw a picture, and I don't remember being asked. Which whatever. I'm not.
You were asked. We were tearing down that day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If somebody has a link to the picture you all took, I would love to put that in the show notes as well. That was fun. It looked like you guys had a blast. I'm real disappointed, but there's this one picture. I don't know when you guys took it. It must have been like the last day or something. Y'all are there's a big group of you. So, yeah. It actually. So Ben says it actually started. It started as a road trip to eat hot dogs at this famous hot dog place in Chicago that was closing down, and they stood in line for what? And they stood in the line for 13 hours or something like that for hot dog. You've got to be exaggerating, right, Ben?
I don't think so.
Not 13 hours. You're crazy. 13 minutes, maybe an hour and 13 minutes. I don't know, but yeah, it was. I get it. It was a long time in line. Okay. He says he's not kidding. There's no way. See, this is the problem with Ben. You just can't trust the guy.
I got the picture here.
You got it?
Yeah.
Sure.
See if I can. I'm gonna try.
Do you know how to share things?
Yep. It's going there. I don't know if I can easily put it into show notes per se.
Yeah, I'll just put the link in the show notes, but add it to
It's in Discord now.
well, add it to the show though, you dork.
I just said I can't easily do that.
Yes, you can. How do you download this picture?
I can
See,
do
this-
that. I just didn't want to do it.
Just add it to the save image. Here we go. I got you, people. I got you. Don't worry. That's an easy name to remember. Here we go. I'm gonna add it to the screen for everybody to see. Oh, that's video. Wait, we want to do it over here. We're going to do it graphics, and you got to go to. Well, I guess you have to add it as an overlay. That's, you're true. You're right. There's not like a really simple way of sharing just a image.
See?
Yeah, you're right. You're
All
right.
right.
I'm wrong. I'm do it this way though. What you want to do is that's my Discord. Boom, boom. There it is. This, if I make that, can I make this big? Me on my wedding night. Can I make this big?
No, Ramsey. Listen to Harry Mack at the beginning. We are not professional.
Yeah, look at all the people. Scott's there. Is that Tim's there? Ian's there. Beth
Tim's
is there.
Oh, Tim Bond. I was gonna say Tim was helping us stare down.
Yeah, everybody's there. Jeffrey's there. Where are you at, Andrew? Are you here? Derek's there. I see you,
Grumpy.
Andrew.
The fake Ben Ramsey's there.
The fake Ben. Who's the fake Ben Ramsey? Oh, Chris. Chris is there. Is that Chris in the middle? Yeah, it looks like Chris. Oh man, you guys look like you had a great time.
Man, who's in the far back that got cut off? Feel bad.
Oh, how do I stop sharing this now? I want to stop sharing it. I don't want to invite more people. I want to stop sharing. There we go.
The fake Ben Ramsey is Steve Grunwell.
Oh, you're gonna have to give me that story at some point.
If you hang out with the attendee, he actually created the fake Ben Ramsey on phpc.social during the event.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotta follow that one. Is he posting to it? I
don't know
got
if he still
content
is,
he
but-
can add.
Oh, that is Tim Bond behind you. Yep.
I tell you, yeah, there were people there that like I'd been wanting to see. Like I follow on Twitter, and when I saw that they were presenting at our conference, I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome! They're presenting at our conference." And then I totally didn't see them, didn't talk to them, didn't say anything to them. One of them was a speaker who forgot to get their speaker GIF, and
That was.
was
Oh no, that wasn't Tim. Tim got his.
no, it was Steve. Right? Wasn't it Steve? I
No,
forget
it was
now.
Terry.
Terry. That was it.
Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What do you
Hour
want?
and a
You wanna
half.
Go.
Hour.
You good? You're gonna wrap it up here?
Yep.
Ben or Sarah, send me the handle for fake Ben Ramsey. I wanna add them just in case you guys start adding funny things there. We need to come up with a better way, a better discovery process in Mastodon.
Yeah.
Mastodon cross posting is dead, right? There were a couple services out there that you could subscribe to that would cross post. If you posted to Twitter, it would post to Mastodon. If you post to Mastodon, post to Twitter. And Elon killed that with charging for the APIs now. There are no more free tiers for the APIs, and all these little projects that allowed you to cross post. Kill. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, I was just about to post that.
If somebody knows another way to cross post, we subscribe to a service that would allow me to post to both at the same time, but I don't want to put my personal account on the service, and I don't know. I just don't want to think that much about it. So if anybody still knows a way to cross post, let me know. I guess you can download these projects. Most of these projects are made available for as open source, and you can pay for your own Twitter APIs, which I might end up doing. I don't know.
Now, if
But
only
yeah.
there was a article coming out about Mastodon that could help us figure out how to discover people
Right?
easier.
how to
That connects.
discover, how to do DMs, because DMs in Mastodon reminds me of the early days of Twitter, where it's kind of like it's a dicey thing to DM somebody
You're
and
like, is
making
this
sure
going
you're doing
public
it
or
right.
not? Yeah.
Yeah,
You're the one that taught me how to tell if it was DM or not.
yeah, yeah. It's not simple. I mean, yeah, you have to. Somebody has to explain it to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's challenging. So, yeah, we need to figure out somebody who can write an article that, like, does all that. Somebody, anybody, you know. Don't give me this. I'm a release manager. Fucking crap. Write the damn article.
um, so to find people, do you have to go, since we are now on phparch.social, if I want to find somebody I know they're on PHPC, do I need to go there to search?
No, you can search in ours. You just have to, if you know what server they're on, add it. It makes it, you find it quicker. But we're connected with phpc.social. So I think if you type in anything, like even the name, it searches ours, which only has the PHP architect people in it, and then it searches PHPC as well. That's something I think that's something we set up. I don't remember, but because I feel like I've done that before.
Yeah, that works. I could have sworn I had tried that before, and I wasn't finding the people I was looking for.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, discoverability for me is just challenging in general. I've had that experience too, where it doesn't work and then it does seem to work. I think I'm having that experience right now. Here we go. Yeah, big Ben Ramsey right there. And I haven't had it happen in a while, but when we first started using Mastodon, and again, if somebody had an article that could explain this, it'd be great. Be great. But certain people, I would find them, and when I tried to follow them, it would say something like, "Oh, you have to go to their server and follow them there," and then it worked. I don't get it. This is why like the laymen aren't flocking to Mastodon, because there's still these like technical, geeky, quirky things, which we need to figure out. But I'm definitely I definitely spend more time, I think, in Mastodon than I do Twitter. But like when I go to post, I feel like I always go to Twitter to post. I don't know why that is. I just do. And then I think to post the same thing to Mastodon later, if I even think about it.
I haven't done anything on Twitter in forever. I did learn of a new Mastodon app that may have been Ramsey that turned me on to, Ivory, which is way better than the one I was using before.
Is this a mobile app or
For the phone? Yeah, for your
Ivory? Is it just an iPhone thing, or is it?
phone. I don't think so. I think it's both.
Oh man,
Now you gotta make me go look for it.
I don't mind the mobile app because it lets me switch between accounts, which for whatever reason the web app does not let you do. But
I had
I'll check it out.
issues. Well, actually, will that let me? Yeah, you can add multiple accounts in here too. I had issues with the other app that I don't even remember what it's called now, but it was driving me nuts.
I mean, on the Android, there's a Mastodon.
Now there's another one, Mona, that I need to check out.
See, everybody's got these things, man. Ivory from Mastodon. Yep, I have it. I'm installing it. We'll see how good it does.
Well, now I learned there's a Mona desktop app.
Mona?
Yep.
Does it run on Linux? Where did you see Mona?
Ramsey just shared it with us.
Well, I don't see it. I see Ivory. Ivory's a great one because it's a desktop. But I've been using Mona. Oh, because they have both desktop and mobile. Yeah, I do like that consistent experience across platforms.
Yeah, check that one out later.
Yeah.
All right, we have been running very long.
Probably not doing it right now. You're doing it right now. I'm not doing it. What?
Doing what?
Okay.
What am
All
I
right.
doing?
Yeah, I think we are. See, this was a good day for Tom to take a break because he would have just been rolling his eyes the entire time that we're just keep talking about tech. That was a lot of tech talk. Do we have all the tech talk out of our system, or do you think there'll be more tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
All right, next week. NorCal guy. I just saw my NorCal kid. Did I see NorCal, or was it SoCal?
And
Um,
it's
NorCal kid is in Discord.
like a long time ago. Oh no, 10 minutes ago.
How do you see that?
What?
How do you see that?
I scrolled up.
Hmm. All right, that's it. That's it.
It'd be
We're
easier if
done.
all this restream crap wasn't in there.
I got to figure that one out. Driving me freaking bonkers. All right, again, not a lot of show notes. John actually had some things that I was hoping we'd get to, but we didn't. I don't know if they will survive age for another week or not.
The GitHub one is real quick.
Let's do it.
I've been fighting. I use multiple profiles in Chrome, and in one of my profiles, especially in GitHub specifically, when I went to highlight text, it just wouldn't highlight. It worked like
What?
if I highlighted, copied, I could paste somewhere else. So it was doing it behind the scenes, but the highlighting itself wasn't working. And I've probably multiple times over the past couple of months went to research why, and nothing ever worked. And finally, I'm pretty sure this was the answer. And it's a setting. I don't know if I just turned it on at some point. But yeah, it was this enable experimental web platform feature. I toggled that off.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I toggled that off and it worked fine. So it's just one of those, if you're having this issue, it drove me nuts. Here's how you fix it. The real way to fix it. I don't know how many other websites that I found that said, hey, if you're having this issue, turn off
Experimental web
graphics
platform
acceleration or something, and none of that ever worked.
features.
I got so annoyed that I thought it was the second Chrome profile that I completely deleted the profile and recreated it and still had the issue. And
So
then
it was only happening on
fix
one
it.
of the profiles?
I'm pretty sure it was.
So probably because I was the only one that had that feature enabled, huh?
That, or I don't use GitHub the same way in the first profile as I do the second profile.
Gotcha. Yeah, that
And
was like
that's where I noticed it mostly.
I think the day before I left for Chicago, Oscar pinged John and I and said, "Hey, your PHP Tech.tv site's broken." I'm like, what? What's he talking about? And we pop on, and I'm like, "It looks fine to me." And I pull it up in did I pull it in Firefox?
Yeah, it was
I must not
Firefox.
have. Yeah, Firefox was the one having the issue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we pull it up in Firefox, and sure enough, I guess Firefox doesn't like having SVGs as an image. It worked fine when the SVG was code, but if you have the actual image on the page, it puked it out. And it was like, oh, great. But it was a quick fix, easy fix. So yeah,
I do have bad things about PHP Tech.tv that, so we know there's issues and we're going to work on it. Had another friend say, hey, did you know this? Oh, and also this. Oh, and sorry, and also this. I'm like, there's nothing on there right now. We're going to work on it. We got to get all the videos up and then we'll fix all these things.
Yeah, I killed all the routes and everything, so you can only get to the home. You should only be able to get to the homepage.
Gotcha. I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
this was yesterday, and at that point I think you could still get to things.
Yeah. All right.
Did you kill the routes because of the 500 error?
No, I just killed the routes because there was nothing on this page. I didn't want people clicking around for no reason.
Gotcha.
So I just killed them. I mean, I didn't see the point of having the rooms open. All right. Now we've said it a couple times now. That other ticket, nothing we can talk about quickly.
Oh, Linus Tech Tips?
Yeah.
If you want to, we can. I mean, Linus is stepping down.
Is he really stepping down? I thought this
He's-
was going to be one of these, hey, I'm not doing this anymore than he actually is.
So he's stepping down as CEO of the company. He's still going to do everything else that he's always done, but he's running a very large company and supposedly turned down an offer to buy him out at $100 million.
You shut up.
It was
Really?
I forget. It was some large amount of cash and and then the remaining stock.
Yeah, news for you. Somebody offers $100 million for a PHP architect. Peace out, brother.
Yeah, for real. No, but he also realizes he's not a CEO, and I often felt the same way. Like,
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should.
it's if we were a large company, there are people that are probably more well suited to run a company. So that's all he's doing. He decided to step down.
That's hurtful. You didn't say I would be better at it, but we need to address that at some point on the show. I don't think we've ever talked about how or why you're CEO and I am not. And I mean, we don't have to address everything, but address some of the like broad stroke things and how it started.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of. I actually had that asked of me a couple times at Tech, and I'm just like, yeah, it's just he won the coin flip. That's what I typically say.
That's not far off.
Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. This
yeah,
was a good one.
I don't care about this. I don't care about this guy. Yeah, that was a good show. Thank you, Discord, for carrying the show for us. We appreciate it. What's happening? Why are we laughing? Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Ramsey. Yeah, that's just another election I lost. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. Yeah, thank you.
How are you highlighting that?
Over
in chat. Got it.
Yeah, you just hit show and it shows.
Yeah.
I like those. I like them because it like shows their icon and everything.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, but yeah, this has been a fun one. I hope everybody enjoyed it. It's not our typical show.
A lot of rambling about tech, but
too far. It's not too far from our typical show, to be honest. But we do try to talk a little more coding in this. So if this is your first time listening, welcome. You get to hear the big Harry Mack song. So the audio podcast doesn't get Harry Mack at the beginning. If you're watching us for the first time, you got to see Harry Mack at the beginning. Then we play Harry Mack at the end. But the audio listeners, you only get to get the Harry Mack goodie at the end of the podcast. So let's get to it.
And you can't fast forward, because if you fast forward, then it disappears and it's not in there.
Yeah, it auto erases. It's the craziest thing. We're just hackers. Okay, episode 336 is in the book. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
And John still didn't.
I got it right here.
No, you don't.
Keep it ugly. You got to say keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
Damn! 1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up.
We barely hear you.
Yeah. Come on. Hey.
It's not at home. Oh man. No, thank you. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for coming to Tech. Thanks for speaking. Thanks for the packages you create. Thanks for all that good stuff. I do appreciate it. You're an appreciated person. All right. I got to find out what the hell the story is with this bot, man. This thing is driving me bonkers. Oh, yeah. Nice call. Turn it up a little bit. Yeah, this bot is driving me nuts. I don't think I changed anything. I don't know why this bot started up. But I don't even know where to configure that right now.
That had to have been. This is where you'll get a lot of dead air. So if you're listening now and there's dead air,
that's
don't
why.
complain.
This is just this is us. I actually start editing the podcast as well. Actually, I have to kill the stream before I can start editing the podcast, but I can do like the show notes and stuff because I have a little bot to do that. We don't have a lot of show notes.
The bot that's spamming our.
It's not. I don't think it's my bot. I mean, I don't.
It's
Because I coded it.
It's a restream bot from somewhere. Why? It's not the same. The same one for the titles, then, right?
No. Yeah, because I coded that one. I would know if that bot was doing something naughty. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from. It's got to be in Restream somewhere. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dude, I need this camera to autofocus. I really do. There's no way to get a lens or something that will autofocus. It just doesn't have that capability. As expensive as this goddamn camera is, it won't autofocus. God damn it.
Nope. I heard that it's to have autofocus, you have to pay some sort of licensing deal.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know enough about it.
Oh man.
It sounds like a great idea until you realize that the minimum quantity to purchase is way too high.
Create an elephant for next year tech. We'll work on that, Aywoods. I don't care what John says.
Ticket prices are going to be a little higher next year thanks to Aywoods.
Dude, people made out with their swag bag. I'm telling you, this is what I was explaining to you. The puzzles, which we didn't even go into the whole puzzle thing, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, and the vendors loved it as well. I was disappointed to see how many pieces we still had, because that just means people went home with incomplete puzzles. We should have just put those out like the last day or something. I don't know.
Well, God, there's also a problem. We gave the sponsors all of their pieces, so all of the leftover partial boxes that we had were useless because we didn't get some of those pieces back.
There was one bag missing. I forget what bag. I want to say it was foam burner, but it might not have been foam burner. We had all but one bag. So somebody either took their bag with them, or they tossed it or something. Did you see that our super secret location got vendor boxes back?
Yeah, I saw that. Is it because they didn't take off the original labels?
Yeah,
so
I think that's what happened.
So the other label is still on it?
Yep.
And
Or if they put a new label on it, but they didn't take the other one off. I didn't ask our contact that information. But yeah, I don't know. It definitely had the old label on there, which now, I mean, I don't want to pay to have that crap sent. That was expensive.
Well, it wasn't we don't have to pay to send it back because wasn't our problem, right?
Well, I mean, somebody's got to take it and have it, or somebody's got to pay to have it picked up.
Do like I did with. We got a box at the hotel all of a sudden. I don't even know what it is. I just sent them a label. They're gonna slap the label on and send it to me.
What?
Exactly. At least we're on the same page.
I mean, we got decent. I was really excited to get. Oh, see, it won't focus. Look, I bring it all the way over here. Look, right here. I gotta put it right here because that's where the focus is. Got a little PHP Architect pins. I was tossing this out like candy, man. Speaking of which, I tossed out candy like candy, dude. We went through so much candy. Good.
I was gonna say we tried to get pens for tech. We just couldn't get it in time.
Yeah, my wife was like, "Hey, I'm gonna bring some candy for the team. You know, keep them sugared up." And I'm like, "All right, that sounds fun. Let's do that." and I'm like, if you're gonna do that, I'm like, why don't you go ahead and get like 2 bags of everything, and I'll put a bag out on our table because we had a PHP Architect table. And we end up bringing, and this isn't even an exaggeration, we ended up bringing like 30 pounds of candy. And it had its own suitcase. And it was 30 pounds of candy. And we went through probably 5 pounds a day at the conference. Like by the beginning of the 3rd day, we were just down to the sweets because the chocolates, like we had a bunch of chocolate candy that just like went like crazy. I mean, the moment you filled up the little bowl, it was empty. Then we had a sweets bowl that had like Skittles and things like that. I'm a big Skittles guy, and Twizzlers and stuff. And that seemed to last a little longer, but yeah, it's crazy. What is going on? Lando does not.
Whatever it was shipped from Area 51.
I do not know. Did you order an alien? What did you order?
It came from the same place we got our bags.
I don't remember where that was.
Actually, no. What did I order from here?
Send me a link. Send me a link.
I don't-
Send me more chocolate next year. It's almost 2 a.m. What are you doing, hey Woods? Cut your hair and go to bed. Damn hippie.
I give up.
Hey, I'm gonna have a problem with show notes.
Oh, why?
I don't know. My Lando is very upset with me for some reason. Let's see if my job will even run. Huh? Looks like it ran. Let me see. I mean, I had a whole bunch of stuff to talk about too. Shit, I'll say that.
So it came from the same place we ordered our table covers. The PHP Architect table, yeah, tablecloth.
What else did we order from there?
Nothing. I'm looking at my orders. There's nothing else. And the box wasn't that big.
Maybe it's a thank you gift?
Maybe, but it's not like we ordered that much.
Oh, sweet. Look at that. My script still runs. I love being good at coding. It's one of my favorite things.
Guess we'll find out once I get it back.
Yeah.
So you got all the changes we made in production pushed back into the branch?
Maybe
Or
be a
push back
fucking
into the
elephant
repo?
you can give to me, you bastard. Look at this fucking bot. No, yeah, I downloaded everything and did a commit. You can go to the website or go to GitHub. You'll see the commit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was everything.
I mean, it's got to be coming directly from Restream. It's not your bot. Oh, it's coming from the Restream bot.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Do we enable a Restream mod? Is it a new feature? And I can't I wonder if I can go to Restream. Let me see. Can I just
I'm
go
doing
to
it.
Restream?
I'm doing it right now. But I don't have the proper permission. You don't have appropriate permission to access this page. Please consult with the team owner.
What page are you trying? What permissions don't you have? You're
Trying to get to settings.
I mean, I don't have any way to promote you. You're an admin. There's nothing more I can promote you to.
Now you know how I feel when I'm the admin of something. I'm trying to promote you higher, and it's like, nope, no can do.
All right, there's got to be a bot on here somewhere. Do. Bot. Anybody know? Well, where were you going? I don't. Okay, let me turn that off because you guys email way too much. Unsubscribe to all. There you go. Social.
I don't know where I was going, but I was going there.
Branding. Oh, I wonder if it's in the chat. Like, chat has its own thing. What is it? Chat Restream? Is that it? No. Nope. Chat Restream. .io/chat. This is where I have to go to enable the Discord. Reply commands. What are reply commands? Discord filtering, appearance, embed. Okay, apparently you can't. Here it is, right here. Oh, here it is. But it's not enabled. Wait, how is this here? What is this?
What are you talking about?
All right, so it's saying that it says that if I do this, let me see. So I should have been info. Sorry, you're not sure what you're trying to do here. I don't understand this bot. I don't understand it, but I'm deleting them because they're driving me crazy. This has got to be what's doing it. So it does have this reply command in the chat app where you set up a command and then it will do a reply. I don't know why this is just firing. It does have a repeat 5 minutes.
Where at? What are you looking at?
So here, I'll send you the link of where I'm at because you got to go to like another section. It's coming in Slack. I'm there. That had to have been what was doing it. 100%.
Well, I'm assuming you removed it already, so I'm not gonna see it.
Yeah, I removed it. Oh, interesting.
Oh, repeat with timer, but what the heck?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. Oh, just repeat it again. What the hell? Or maybe that wasn't there. Maybe it's already in here, so it has to exit and come back.
Well, kick it out. Restream bot. Kick Restream bot. You should have done that earlier.
You can kick it?
Out of Discord? Yeah.
All right.
Done.
Cool.
Why didn't we do that during the show?
Well, because I think the Restream bot is what also posts to the other networks as well. I mean, it's fine. The show's over, so who cares? But I think that's what else it does. It posts to all the other networks, and it also, I assume, grabs the post from there as well.
So if you're not watching us on YouTube, we're not gonna be able to see your responses. Sorry.
Yeah, or Twitch. I'm thinking about killing the Twitch stream and just streaming it to the PHP Architect's Twitch. Like, we don't do anything on Twitch, and we have a couple of viewers. They can find us on PHP Architect. It would be better to have like more streams on one channel than them dispersed on all the channels.
Yeah. It's kind of how I'm feeling about the PHP Ugly and PHP Architect Discord servers too. Like,
shutting
'cause
down the PHP Ugly Discord and just having everybody move to
possibly.
PHP Arch.
I mean, we've opened PHP Architect now, and there's a lot of crossover. There could just be
Yeah.
a PHP Ugly channel in there.
Honestly, I kind of feel that way about the YouTube channel too. Just pushing everything to PHP Architect. I don't know. That's a lot of videos though. I don't know.
But not undoable.
Yeah, we'll figure it
Decisions we have to make or don't have to make.
out.
We'll see.
I still need to cancel the other Restream account. We still have the original PHP Ugly Restream account that we don't use anymore. I need to cancel that one because it's not cheap. It's expensive as hell.
Well, the PHP Architect one is because we're using it more. The other one, we're on the small tier. I mean, it's still a waste of money, so yes, please do, but
Yeah.
we're not talking big dollars.
Yeah. I've been doing that. Canceled Restream. I got emails from them. Why did you leave us? You were a customer for so long.
Did I tell you when I did that with SiriusXM?
No.
So I've enjoyed having it, but it's an expense that I don't need. More often than not, when I'm in the car with the kids, they just want to listen to an audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
My wife and I often listen to NPR. So I only listen to SiriusXM really when I was in the car by myself because I like listening to Howard Stern, but don't need to spend.
Never pinned you as a Stern fan.
Oh yeah, huge Stern fan. But it's not worth $15 a month or whatever it is, right? For as little as we listen to it.
Right.
So I just waited till my time ran out. My card, I knew my card had expired, or I canceled it or whatever. So they weren't going to be able to charge me. I was just, okay, they'll just turn my account off if they can't charge me. And they'd call me every day, multiple times a day. And usually I was in a meeting or, whatever. Finally, I picked up the phone. I'm like, no, please just cancel my account. And they start down the road of trying to save it. And I'm like, no, I really don't want to keep the account. Like, I know you'll give it to me way cheaper, but I don't want it.
Did they offer to send you the free device you can plug into your radio at home?
No, I don't know if they do that anymore.
Yeah, they did that to me. They're like, "Oh, we'll send you a device. You can just plug it. You can listen to it at home." I'm like, "I don't listen to it in the car. What makes you think I'm listening to it at home?"
So all of a sudden they turn nasty, like, "Well, you have a balance due." I'm like, "Okay, send me an invoice." "Well, you got to pay it right now." I'm like, "I'm not paying you right now. Send me an invoice." "Well, you got to be responsible and pay your bills or whatever." I'm like, "Okay, send me an invoice. We're done." Hang up. Can't force me to pay over the phone.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, AOL, you get all these free AOL minutes, and then when you used them up, you just call and cancel. They're like, "Okay, we'll give you another 3,000 minutes." See, all right. I don't know anybody who actually paid for AOL.
Those things are still coming into the chat in Restream, just not. They can't go to Discord now because we kicked them out.
Well, that's half the battle. Can we kick him out of? I mean, I guess nobody sees it if it's just in the Restream chat. I don't think anybody uses it. Oh, what did I click? Sorry about that.
No, I know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just in there. And like next time we do a stream, it won't be there. But if it is,
well, yeah. I mean, it is showing up in the stream on the right-hand side, isn't it? Because we have the chat open right now.
Oh yeah, I guess we can close that. So,
not that it's that big of a deal, but
you see my little PHP. That's actually got music now. Check it out. I've got the Raspberry Pi keyboard. That's what I have running all my my Manjaro, my Arch install, and that thing is awesome, man. It's so nice. So like this is that install behind me. I created this little thing, and I have it streaming to a Bluetooth. Well, maybe I don't. Yeah, I have it streaming to my Google Home thing as a Bluetooth. So it just plays that. What's that? Pretzel. It just plays a bunch of pretzel music.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's cool, man. That freaking keyboard is really so. For this install, I've been wanting to do things like this and like show stuff on the screen behind me, but I always ran my Pi's headless, so I'd have to go find a keyboard, hook everything up, and just kind of a pain in the ass. And now just having it in that keyboard and there's a mouse attached to it, it's like, this is beautiful. I love this.
So is that just a screen now? It's just plugged in HDMI?
Yeah, it's just plugged into a little HDMI screen there. Yeah, I actually bought that for the Atom.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. For whatever reason, it doesn't work on the Atom. I don't know why.
Huh. Interesting.
Maybe it's just too small.
I mean, the one I had was a 7-inch screen.
Yeah, that's what that is. That's a 7-inch screen. It's weird. I don't know why. I thought the screen was busted. I'm like, shit, the screen doesn't even work. And then I got the bright idea of actually hooking up to a Raspberry Pi because it was a screen designed for Raspberry Pi. And I hooked
That
it up.
reminds
I'm like,
me.
oh, great.
I wonder if they're on the monitors we had at Tech. We had one in the ballroom that we used on the ATEM. I wonder if it had an audio out where we could have had headphones to do monitoring of the stream.
But doesn't the ATEM has audio out, doesn't it?
No.
Oh,
So what you do is you take the HDMI out and run that to like a monitor, or in the case in the ballroom, we ran it to a TV where we could see, okay, here's all the program settings. So you can see you saw that. But if there was a audio out on that monitor and we could have hooked up a set of headphones, they could have been monitoring the audio that was going out on the stream.
Yeah.
And we would have realized real quickly in the two cases where we just forgot to turn the mic on, we're like, oh, that's not going out on the stream. I need to turn that on.
Right.
Versus having something else. So I wish I would have checked that or thought about that. Because we had extra monitors, we could have put in the other two rooms and we didn't.
No, Mike, you did miss it, Mike. We wrapped up some time ago, buddy. we're just hanging out. This is the after show stuff. So we're still talking about tech, though. I mean, that was pretty much the whole show, anyways.
Yeah.
Miss you, tech, man. Miss you, tech. Yeah. I think playing Mike in chess was one of the things that.
I don't think. Oh no! One of the chessboards did get used. I bought 2 chessboards.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, where are you at? Oh no, it wasn't Mike. It was somebody else. I got to reply to somebody in Discord.
Okay. I think playing Mike in chess is what encouraged me to talk to my doctor about my mental issues. And because like I said, so Mike, I talked about this in the past. I know you didn't hear it, and I realized I didn't talk about it on the stream. It was something John and Tom and I talked about after we streamed. But I have this paralysis when playing games like chess, because in my head, and I'm not saying I'm good at chess. I don't think I'm good at all. I want to learn it, but I get this paralysis because I start seeing all the moves, and like I can beat myself. I feel like I beat myself very easily. Like I do the whole, okay, if I move here, he'll move there, I'll move there, and then okay, now yeah, he wins. And now I move there, and I get this like paralysis where I just can't move because in my head I've already lost, and it doesn't make sense to move. So I kind of just want to forfeit, but I don't know. I feel like maybe I just need to keep playing, but then I have these compulsions It's
But-
very difficult. It's been challenging.
While you have that, if I move here, they move here, blah, blah, and you lose. There's also, if I move here and they move here, you win, right? There are other scenarios. So while you're trying to play, you're trying to think of their best move and response. People don't always make the best move, especially when you start when you're not playing Mike, right? When you just go in and play a random game where you're matched up with somebody of your same skill rank. That's where you're really going to start to improve, because you're going to make mistakes and you're going to see them in your game review. You're going to see people attack you and you're going to see the same thing a few times and you're like, oh wait, I know what to do here, because after your game you've gone and you've analyzed it and you're like,
Right.
and it tells you made a mistake here. If you would have done this, it would have been better. Have it happen 2 or 3 times and you're like, okay, I see them move here, they're trying to attack me this way, let me block it over here.
Did you see what Mike wrote? He says that's very normal. It's called seeing ghosts. All players do it. Interesting. I feel like it's I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's all it is. I'm kind of worried that it was more than that, because like I know I have compulsion issues, and yeah, I was worried. I don't know. Maybe I need to just give it another shot. Now that you say that it's actually normal.
Play 10-minute games, or 10-minute to me is, it turns to be 20 because it's 10-minute per side, but that's kind of the default rapid setting, and it forces you to make moves because you have a time limit. You don't have to make moves so fast that you're just blundering left and right. You have time to think, but to me that's a good place to start.
Yeah,
And
I need to
that's
get
really
back into it.
that's the mode I prefer to play, is 10-minute games.
Are you still playing?
Oh yeah, I usually play 1 to 2 games a day.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Fuck, I haven't played I haven't played since that game with Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get back into it. I don't know why. I just
play
yeah.
randos. Don't play people that are better than you. I mean, not saying don't, but play a lot of games, but at your skill level, and your skill level will increase. As long as you take it, I mean, not so seriously, because we're not trying to be grandmasters. We're not 12 or whatever it is to be a grandmaster anymore. But to learn enough to improve, I mean, I'm still only 900. I'm in that every 100 marker for me. I get above it, drop way below. So when I went from, I think 6 to 700 was a big one, where got over 700, right back to 6, back up, over
I'm
7.
not worried about that. I'm not too concerned about that. I just want to have fun playing, and that's what I'm worried that I won't get to, is it won't be fun. It's just, I don't know. It's very difficult to explain that the anxiety I get, because I just start running through all the series of things, and yeah, you feel like you're dead in the water, and yeah, I just need to start playing again.
I haven't done any of the plus, so he says he recommends the 15 plus 10, which I believe is 15-minute game, and you get 10-second bonus every time you move.
Oh, interesting.
I like the finite amount of time. If I had more time to just sit and play, I would probably do more of that. But I do like, I know I'm going to start, I'm going to end within 20 minutes, and I'm done.
See, and Mike, I appreciate what you're saying in here, but it's fake, right? I know openings. Like I studied a bunch of openings, and I have like the first 5-6 moves in, and then after that, that's where I start breaking. Like I start to break down, because I start overthinking everything, and I every move I see, I feel like I'm losing the game. I appreciate what you say, but it's not like I don't have a good foundation. I just have a good memory of the openings, and that's all it really is.
Do you have an opening you prefer as white?
No, I don't. I don't remember what it's called now. Like I said, I sit there and study them. I study Gotham. Gotham goes through all those openings.
Yeah.
He's actually he's fantastic. I'll sit here and watch. So what I was doing there when I was playing you guys is I would watch Gotham and I'd find like an opening that I liked, and then I'd just watch it over and over again. And it didn't stick. Like I could remember, and again, I can only remember like the first 5-6 moves in. And for me, it was a big deal because that's where I struggled. Like I never know how to start the game. It's weird. So I just watch Gotham. I get an opening, and then that's how I'll start a game. But I have to watch it. Like I'll watch it, and then I'll watch one opening and get real good understanding of it. Then I'll play it for a little while, and then I'll watch another one, and I try to build off of it.
We're streaming, but not live show. It's after show, just us talking a bunch of crap.
Norca, they're trying to get home to do thumbnails. I'm like,
Oh.
don't worry about it. It's not that serious. Yeah, you did. You helped, Mike. You helped a lot. I need to reach out to you and just. I need to sit down with you. Like I sat down with John one day and just asked a lot of questions. Like because I see moves that I don't understand why people are making those moves. And we sat down one day over beer and we played a game, but it was like like an hour long. And I would move, or even before I would move, I'd say, hey. I've seen people do this move, and John would explain kind of the concepts around behind it.
As best I
need
could,
to sit down
as a
with you.
noob myself.
As you what?
I said, as a noob myself,
Yeah.
like I'd explain it the best I could with my understanding.
But you're a noob, but you're like Mike said, you would be like what I would consider somebody with a solid foundation. So you're new at it, but you understand it. Like you've done enough. I don't even consider myself a noob because I don't understand like some of the concepts in attacks and why you're doing them. I'm just like learning where the pieces go. I mean, I've always kind of known where they move, but I didn't know how that back line lined up and if the queen went on your right or if it went on your left. And I mean, that's how simple I don't understand chess. It's crazy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's queen on her own color, but there's still times where I'm questioning and I pull up a quick Google search, like chessboard setup.
I think you're right. I think the queen is the one that's always on her color. Or starts on her color at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Mike, I got to get back at it. You were so patient with me, and I do appreciate how patient you were. Yeah, queen on her own color. Yeah. Yep.
And it's white in the bottom right.
White in the bottom right. What do you mean?
When you're orienting the board, if it's not clear, if you had just a square board, like usually when there's a divider, it's very obvious. Like if it folds in half. But if it's not,
I see what you're saying.
The board can be turned.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
White in the bottom right.
Is that true for both sides? Like both sides have white in the bottom right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
when it's a diagonal across there.
Yeah.
So that's how you tell.
Oh, white in the bottom right. I can remember that one. Yeah. See, shit like that. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. Yeah, I need to get back into it. I did enjoy it. I honestly did until I did it.
Time to start up another PHP Ugly tournament.
Yeah.
I tried the Laravel one and it was way too long.
I dropped out of that one. I don't even know how I got into it. The guy reached out to me. He said, "Hey, you mind like forfeiting your games or something because everybody's waiting for you to move?" I'm like, "Who the hell are you? What do you want?" All right, I'm going to stop the stream because I can't edit the podcast until I get the stream, and it's already 11:30. So That's kind of crazy. Mike, I'm glad you popped in. But yeah, sorry you missed the show. We'll talk next week. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.